Hey guys, welcome to What's Going On Colorado, the fun and exciting podcast of all things Colorado. So, I am your host, Amber Turner, and
I'm your other host, Ryan Evans.
And in this episode, we want to do something a little different because actually things have just been going in your favor, Ryan. I've been following you on social media, seeing what you've been going and doing. And so if you could share a little bit about what's been going on over there, and then we can probably talk about like that mindset stuff that we were talking about before.
Okay. Well, for now, I don't, well, I do have a couple of things. I'm supposed to be doing a couple of private shows this week coming up. One is going to take place in a baseball field. I can't wait to do that.
Okay.
It's out in Colorado Springs. I cannot remember off the top of my head because I'm still locking down all the information on that. And I always mention this on here. I've mentioned it a couple of times. I'm going to be working at 3E's with a group called 1 Million Cups. And it's a great group. Look them up. I'm not going to keep telling you the same thing. Do your due diligence. But they're a great group. And I'm going to do, I think, two shows for them this week. It's a small business week is what this week is. So it's kind of bustling with those private shows. Yay. I finished a AAA commercial last week.
Really
Very
cool.
small part. Yeah. I took some pictures. I did some print work. So you might see me come in your mailbox like, hey,
okay.
AAA.
That's right.
Hopefully, we'll see. I don't know what they're going to do with it. I just do what they ask and get out of there. And what do I have? I just what we were talking when we were talking earlier. I guess I could say that. Ain't nobody gonna be mad. I'll say this. I just locked down a nice size PSA style commercial on a very well known sports network.
Really cool.
Yeah. So hopefully, we're supposed to start filming that in August. So hopefully that comes out pretty soon. It's a good cause. The PSA is for a good cause. So I hope people see it and they, say, hey, that's Ryan, but listen to what the commercial is about.
Yeah.
But other than that, we were talking about stories and the idea that you are in control at least a little bit of your own story. If you heard something just gag just then, that's my dog.
Oh, so before we get into that, I have to say, Colorado's Grand Talent. We're still open for submissions if we're looking for the Colorado's best dancers. So if you can move or hold a beat, because I guess I could do that. I don't know what happened.
That hurt me a little bit right there. I don't dance no more. Like, I don't do anything physical unless I stretch. No. If I can stretch and have some Gatorade near me, it's gonna be a good dance night. But
yeah. So if you're interested in submitting your audition, go to it's RockyMountain.tv right now. I totally forgot about that. We are building. We are expanding. We are
growing and expanding.
Yes, it's RockyMountain.tv. And Colorado's Grand Talent is one of the shows that will be on that platform. So definitely check them out. And if you can dance, let us see your moves.
Even if you can't, I want to see those.
Like we see a lot of TikTok dances out there. I'm just saying.
That's funny.
I'm like, there's this I don't know if it's a meme because it's a video, but it's like this cat, and it's like trying to learn the TikTok dances, and the cat is just like, I'm like, that is so me. Like, how do you do this?
I don't even know anything. I have yet to get on TikTok. People keep telling me to do it. I don't dance. It might not be my cup of tea.
Listen,
I might get on just to play.
I don't want to commit that much time trying to learn a dance for a video, like a little snippet of a video. Like, that's my thing. I don't want to commit to learning. I see people, I'm like, what is that?
Someone tried to walk me through it like last week or a couple weeks ago at an event, and I'm like, you talking to the wrong person. It's not my cup of tea. It seems young, older guy talking to me. Yeah, you're on TikTok, huh, Gramps? That's great.
But you know what? A lot of people, they seem really talented, and they really get really creative with these videos. I just want to get on and do a video real quick and talk real quick and be done with it. I don't know. That's just me.
I haven't figured out its platform yet. I don't know if it's just strictly dancing. I do see people doing like voiceover videos for
Yeah,
movies or TV scenes. So I don't know what exactly it is, but you can't find out unless you join. So
true. I
maybe I
mean,
will be on soon.
I'm gonna be honest, like I deleted my account because I heard some things about it being spyware, but I
That's
don't
the
know.
main reason why I haven't done it, to be quite honest. I didn't want to
Oh,
alarm anybody.
I don't know. I was just told that, hey girl,
I definitely don't know, but I only have to hear it one time, you know.
right?
Somebody only had to tell me one time. I'm like, okay, cool. Didn't
I,
have it in my life before. Don't necessarily need it now. But to each his own. If you're ticking and you're talking, you tick tock away.
Ticking in the top. I like that. Ticking in the top.
It sounds real country.
I am country. I'm from Georgia. This
Yeah,
girl's from
I
Georgia.
never knew that. I don't think you're from Georgia.
Yes.
What
Yeah.
part?
Warner Robins.
Robin. Where's Robin?
You know where Macon is?
I know Macon.
Yeah, it's like
It's
right.
still south.
Yeah, it's right south of that.
Dope.
Yeah, I think
I think you did tell me that.
Little
Yeah.
Richard's from Macon, Georgia.
Way to represent. You gonna wait a minute. You gonna take Little Richard? You ain't from Macon.
Hey, I
Close enough.
I claim the Little Richard.
That's funny.
But speaking of entertaining, I think that I
Entertaining.
want to really get into this because with Colorado's Grand Talent, we work with like up and coming artists, amateur artists, and we
Hmm.
did our singing one. Now we're doing dancing, and these are people that really want to make it in the industry, obviously, and they're very, very talented. So I wanted to talk about the mindset behind making it and actually like seeing your dreams come true.
I don't know. I mean, I'm here with you, so we're gonna be both guessing and stabbing at the dark at this.
Well,
But
I mean,
mhm,
yeah, we were talking earlier about like the story, right? And a
yeah,
lot of times people have a story of why they can't do certain things and why they can't make it or why it's going to be hard for them to make it. And I think it's important for us to break free from that story and start writing and creating a new story. And that's what we were
yeah,
talking about, right?
yeah. I think it's
You
easy to
actually
kind of.
work you actually work with like a lot of amateur comedians and groom
Yeah, I
their
teach a
career.
couple classes. I try to, I've been in the comedy for 15 years, and I've done a lot of things. So a lot of the comedians in this area, in the Colorado area, they're young, even though they might have been doing it a lot. The reps of being in front of a real showcase crowd, a big, 5 or 1,000 seater, they don't get the experience of that. So I know you can't take anything from me. So I try to give you everything I can. you know, my brother's a comedian, and when I started comedy,
You mean Eddie
his
Murphy?
thing. No, I wish I wouldn't. I promise you, I would be far away. I ask my mother often. I try to catch her off guard too. She never broke. I was waiting to see like a raw, delirious tour jacket in the in the back of something one day, but never. No, my brother, his name is Rodney Perry. He's featured a lot around the country, but what I gathered from watching him, that's what I was able to do. And starting in Los Angeles was that, you know, everything takes time, but you have to have some kind of positive focus. And it's the positive is a capital P. It makes it very difficult to keep that. Because you get no's, you get rejections and things like that. And those no's and rejections are part of your story, but they're not what make it. That's what we were talking about earlier as far as stories.
Mhm.
You were mentioning to me about a twin who was told he's the dumb twin out of the two.
Les
So
Brown.
he rode with that. I am the dumb twin, so I do dumb things or whatever the case may be. And he told himself, as others was telling him, that's his story. But you can change the story at any time. We were talking about Sasha Fierce. Do I got to do that when I say
Hmm.
it?
I think, and just to piggyback off of what you said about rejection, I
uh,
think that a lot of people, once they get some no's or they even for the first rejection, sometimes people are like that. I'm just not worthy or I'm not good enough, and that's not what that's telling you that
That's
that no is not your story, you know?
we all emotional. We all human. We want yeses. Everybody do, but no's hurt us all. Me alike. You know, we all expect to get a yes. That's what we put in the work for. But you know, it is a more of a capitalizing thing than a negative thing when you get a no. You know, it's empowering to be quite honest. You don't want to hear yeses all your life. You want to see a good door slam this close to your nose, so you'll know that you are humbled right now. But you know, it doesn't have to lead you for the rest of that time until the next audition or the next event or whatever the case may be. You know, you have to be able to let go of the no's and start writing every day that story for that day that leads you to this grand book that you are creating. And do it in positive, do it under a positive umbrella, and the things you're trying to accomplish, chapter by chapter, will happen. Maybe not that page, maybe 10 pages down the line or 10 tries down the line. But if you are writing this story, it's going to keep writing itself to that positive that you set to go forward to, rather than like you're winging it and you develop a negative mentality and you're just like, whatever, I'm not even acting anymore, I'm just gonna, you know, just work at KFC or something. You know, that's your story now. Make it
And
positive and it'll be a great story. Make it
yeah.
negative and you're like, when are the credits?
And I want to say this too. I think it's important to understand that we're, because I can say I've experienced a lot of rejection and still to this day, you know, experience rejections and no's. But what it's taught me is tenacity. Is what it's taught me is determination. And you have to understand too, if you get to, you know, making it, whatever that looks like for you,
Mm-hmm.
there's gonna be a lot of hard work, I'm sure. I Here's the thing. I love to watch on YouTube Britney Spears and Beyonce when they rehearse. They put in hundreds of hours of rehearsals, and it shows in their performance. But what a lot of people don't see is that hundreds of hours of rehearsals. Now, you have to understand that that's a lot of work. That's a lot of hard work. And that rejection, those no's, is building you. It is
Mm-hmm.
building you. It's giving you that determination. It's giving you that tenacity. It's giving you that like strength to have to endure those kind of things. You know, like once you get to a point, you don't think that there's going to be like some work involved in that? Because I'm sure there is.
The work never ever ever stops. It actually gets more. The more you achieve, you think you got people working for you and things like that. I don't have to do that no more. You know, he can do that, you know, but he needs to be paid, you know, so you got to make more money, you got to put in more work.
Mhm.
So yeah, the work is like, that's what I teach. Work. You have to work. If you don't, even if you get something on a lucky whim or something like that, you're unprepared perhaps. You never know, but
Mhm.
you're unprepared for what comes up here because you didn't put in the work to get there. I don't know if that is a good visual. Did you see this with the twinkle finger? Uh,
Spirit fingers.
you have to put in the work. I preach that positive. I preach positive and I preach work. You know, I'm a comedian, so you know, there's not a day that you can't write or can't literally perform. Like it might seem crazy, but we talk to ourselves as comics in the car, in the shower, in the bathroom, all the time. That's perfect time to kind of go over your set. There are no excuses. COVID is a wonderful thing to have as an excuse. You know, we're all a little rusty. We all this, that, and the other. But you better be working, because if you are not, I am.
Hmm. And
So
all
the
of it
work is very important. Yes.
and all of it is feedback. If you look at it as not just, okay, someone rejected me, someone said no to my face. If you look
Hmm.
at it as feedback, or like, yeah, feedback, then you're
Growth.
like, bro, like what, how can I use this to make myself better? What
Hmm.
was it that I perhaps did not bring my best in that I can level up? And like to
Hmm.
piggyback of what you said too, like even in situations where we're in right now, even if you were recording yourself doing funny stuff in your car and putting it out on social media, continue with that, grooming yourself, and just not getting, what did you say, stale? What did you say, rusty?
Rusty, stagnant, all of it is the same thing,
All of that. Like, you have to be like hungry. You really have to be hungry. You're like, okay, I can't go to clubs right now. What can I do? Perhaps I can do some funny stuff in my car. I follow is it the LOL network that Kevin
Hmm.
Hart has? And
Hmm.
he does stuff in his car all the time. He's like,
Hmm.
and it's like, what, at all times, think of like, this is grooming me for my greatest good. This is just my like mantra. Is like, this is grooming me for my greatest good. What can I do? Perhaps I can do like more interviews. Perhaps I can record myself in the car, going to the grocery store, whatever, walking down the street and putting that on social media, keeping yourself sharp and actually growing from that, because it's still feedback and people are out there like, it's funny or it's not funny, like stuff like that.
Yeah, you have to stay busy and you have to constantly be working on that story in that positive way. Yeah, you're gonna get some no's and things are not gonna work out. But if you're not working towards, the end result, that what you visualize for yourself and what you see, because everybody not gonna see it like you see it, especially not right away. But every day, a better step towards that end result. I promise you, you'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. Some people, like you're saying, they swing and miss, and they feel like, well, maybe I need to rewrite this story to I am something else, or I am this, or I am that. So before you even embark on a entertainment career, think about it, man. Think it all the way through. Look
Mm-hmm.
at who you have decided that this is who I want to be. Look at them all the way through. Like you're
Yeah.
saying, those hours of Beyonce dancing, look at what they did to get there and use it not necessarily for your particular blueprint, but look at it for a blueprint for your work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't stop. It's gonna keep going. It doesn't get easier.
Yeah.
Sorry, you picked the wrong field if you thought this was gonna be a walk in the
Yeah.
park. You
And I
have
think,
to work because
yeah,
someone else is telling jokes and tap dancing right now in their garage, sweating.
uh-huh,
So I gotta work because he
right.
working.
Yeah. And I think it's important, like you said, is to see the person that you want to be, write that story ahead of time and live in
Mm-hmm.
it. Because honestly, that's going to make things easier if you, what they call, some people call live in the end, live as that person. So when you're having to endure, like, what is that future self of mine, that story that I wrote for myself? What would they do in this situation? Or how would
Mm-hmm.
they act right now? Would they be just sitting around not doing
That's
anything?
you grooming yourself for that spot. Yes.
Yeah. Or would they be like sending cold emails like, hey, book me. I have,
Mm-hmm.
I can do this or whatever. It's like you really have to, like you said, or write that story or rewrite the story that you've been telling yourself.
Now think of how empowering it is to not be fighting a competitive battle against everyone else in your field. That's essentially what you're doing. You're stepping onto a platform or a plateau, if you will, of your career of realizing what you can be. Your competition is that person that you see way up there that you want to be. You got to beat them every time you wake up. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a one, that's how I am. And it's a wonderful feeling because when I am leveling up as you think I am, but when I am leveling up, it's familiar place. It's not anything I'm not prepared for because this moment here is preparing for this. Everything I'm doing here gets me to this, and so on and so forth. I don't see myself like, yeah, I was just, I want to just be headlining around the country and making a little money. Like, no, I'm trying. I see movies, I see television shows, I see big things. You know why? Because why not? That's my story. I wrote it.
Yes. Yes. And I want to say this too. I think that a lot of times, and I was here for a long time too,
Mhm.
we look at people that are like, I don't, this is lateral, like on our level as our competition. When
We in
you
the same
look,
room.
yeah, when you look at, okay, this person's my competition, instead of like looking at your that future self as your competition, you are playing way too small. You're limiting yourself because that person, I'm trying to get there. I'm not trying to compete with people on my level. Why?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Some people say humility. Humility for what you do, for the craft you do. You have to be humble, humble, humble. I believe that. I do believe that, but I believe it in a certain way.
Mhm.
I am a humble guy. Sometimes I'm often too humble. Ask my agent, she'll tell you. I'm a humble guy, but I also understand that if me and you are standing in the same room, we're kind of shooting for the same thing. So we are not necessarily the same, but we are equal, no matter who you are. If we stand in the same room, that's the way I
Sure,
view
yeah.
you. But if Eddie Murphy walk in that room, that's someone to humble myself to. I humble myself, like the Bible says, to greatness, rather than someone who's equal to me. So yeah, hey, how you doing? You should call me sir, like not while you standing next to me, sir. No. But Eddie is gonna get that sir, that humbleness that is required to just, explain. I think you're the best entertainer ever, whatever the case may be.
Hmm.
But I like humble, but I know some people. I like the phrase humble is also the killer of greatness. You'll humble yourself right out of your story.
That's true. Like that for me, it's not Eddie Murphy, but it's Oprah. I would like,
Yeah.
I love just like knowing her story, and I just think that what she has managed to do in mainstream is just incredible. Like, I mean, I feel like she's like one of the trailblazers of people bringing spirituality into the mainstream and actually start talking about visions and your purpose and things, because like she started doing that kind of stuff when she started like talk shows and they were talking about uh you are not the daddy, that kind of stuff, like you are not the daddy, or
Yeah.
crazy stuff, when because that's what people were wanting, I guess, at the time. And then she like veered and made her own path and started talking about what is your heart saying, how do you feel, like what is your purpose, like you are made for greatness, and that kind of stuff that we weren't hearing in the mainstream. And I was like, that is just like amazing to me. And I just went off on a tangent.
No,
on
no,
my,
no. It's all
my
good. You were
girl
talking about
crush.
Oprah. It's a very good point, though. Sometimes mainstream and what is surrounding you is easy to influence you. And it is hard to go against the grain, especially if it's what you visualize and what you see. So maybe what you said is a very important thing. If you see it and nobody else does, even if it's in a lane that nobody else is playing or driving in, that don't mean it's not for you. Pursue what you see. You said it for a reason.
Mhm.
That's what I think.
Yeah. And I think that what you're doing is great, especially like, using your knowledge and your experience and helping other people, see their dreams come true too. That is so important, because I know some people, they're like, I have made it. This is my knowledge. I am not sharing it.
Most
Like
people
this.
would, especially in my field.
Yeah.
But like I said, my experience was I don't even think I got a chance to say that. I got off in a tangent earlier. My brother, as I started
Oh, yeah.
comedy, he's from the I know. He's military. He's in the Navy. So he's not so much hut 2, 3, 4, but he was thrown in the pool. So he said, if you want to do it, dive in. And a lot of people think I got a lot of my knowledge and help from him, but I learned on my own because he said dive in. So with that being said, I know what it's like when no one's talking to you, when you are trying to figure things out by yourself. I know what it's like when someone like Damon Wayans used to come to the club that I worked at and DJ'd at, and he didn't have to, but he sat there and talked to us for like an hour after the show. Never forget it. You know what he talked about? Maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago? Gold. You kids should start buying gold. Like, sir, we are open micers, but I appreciate that. But he was absolutely right. Everything he was saying, he talks on another level because those are the people he talked to. He's a millionaire, so he talked money. So I understood that, but I also understood, we were not in Hollywood. You got your Porsche truck out front. You didn't have to sit in there and talk to us for an hour whatsoever, but you did. So those things stood out to me as I was coming up, and I understand the value of that. Those kind of things help keep me going. So me giving someone just a little piece of what I have as much as I can. I can't give you everything because you got to learn stuff on your own as well. You'll treat it better if you do. But the little bit that I can, no problem. you know, it doesn't, no skin off my back.
Yeah.
So why not?
Yeah. That's important. I think that, um, you know, we don't have to adopt this like competitiveness, like this competitive,
Compete with yourself.
yeah, behavior. We all
Yeah.
like, there's enough for everyone, you know, enough to go around. And I think it's important to support one another. And yeah, I think that's super important. So, uh,
I support you, Amber, in everything you
aw,
do. You're a
oh,
great
thanks.
person and you've been doing really, really well with all your adventures. If you haven't done it, you need to go and look up Amber and make sure you follow her regular page so you can see all of the other stuff that she's a part
Oh,
of. You know,
thanks.
she'd be modest on here, but you know, killer of greatness.
Oh, thanks. Likewise, likewise.
Thank
But
you,
I
thank
think
you.
this was a great show. I love talking about this kind of stuff, and I think that
It's over already.
I mean, did you have something else to offer?
I
I mean,
really
I don't
didn't.
want to keep on.
I just was enjoying it. Yeah, but yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
really don't have anything else.
I and and I always say this. There's so much power in our stories when we share our stories, and because it allows us to connect with one another for one, but it also allows us to know that we're not alone in what we're feeling and what we're dealing with. And I actually was. It's funny. I was actually talking with someone this weekend because they posted a post on their Instagram about feeling down because they're trying to they're a comedian too, and they've been trying to like they post out stuff and funny and sometimes you get negative feedback and it's
Yeah,
hard sometimes, and
yeah.
I could just feel it in that post. I mean, he kept it lighthearted obviously, but
Uh,
I could feel it like feeling defeated, and I just reached out and was like, you know what, you got to keep going. I know it's hard because we all have been there. We all have been there. Like we
yeah.
all have had negative comments. We've all had negative feedback. And it's hard when you believe in yourself and then it doesn't seem like people believe in you. It's a hard thing to do.
That's where the real work comes in. That's where the development of that star or that whatever that is that you're trying to be. It's in those no's, just like you said. That's where you develop those yeses. If you get yeses all the time, you have no development. You are just
Yeah.
someone who is waiting to be told no.
Mhm.
So I hear you on that. I reach out to people as well too. I know comics have a hard time out here in the city. They'll pay a lot, and it's very hard to get on reputable shows around this town. It's not many. So they just fall into the rut of doing what they see, doing what they kind of are taught. But I'm gonna expose comics around here to a little something different. You don't have to wait for someone to book you. I'm gonna show you how to book yourself and how to pull yourself up to be a comedian and not still
Mhm.
be an opening comic.
Do I hear a book coming soon?
Nah, I don't have the time for no book. It would be nice, but maybe some stories. I wouldn't write a book to give that type of knowledge away.
Oh.
It is because essentially, essentially, the idea is that you become famous. You become a famous comedian. I want you to blow up and be big. So essentially, I'm giving you millions of dollars when you think about it,
Yeah.
or at least a way to it. So I'm not trying to write it in a book or something like that. I don't like comedy being necessarily given away like that. It is
Mhm.
a very, very elite thing that we do. That's the way I look at it. You can come in upset. You got your light bill or your lights are off, and you come to my comedy show and I take it away. I take
Yeah.
it all. I put it on my shoulders, and you walk out skipping, laughing, high fiving people. That's a beautiful, magical talent, and it shouldn't be
It
underestimated. So I'd rather give it to those, like I said, that work hard. That's what I tell these comics out here. If you work, I help you at any point. If you're not working, I don't know how you got my number.
is. And I think and I love that about comedy myself. I can honestly say like when I was feeling down or when I am feeling down, I go to specific pages on Instagram because I know that they're going to make me laugh. And
Yeah,
there's
the
so
web
much
has been great.
healing in that, right?
Yeah, the web has been great. I think I laughed at some kid falling down. I think everybody saw this one. He had the little cape on and he dove down the stairs. He had the towel. He thought he could fly and he
Aw.
fell and he bounced. He bounced down the last few stairs. And it's not funny when you say it out loud, but if you can hear the thuds, that is funny. And he immediately got up and stood there.
Oh, that's
I
so.
ought to be young again. My back hurt thinking about it. But it's just something in humor that brings, that it reminds us, I guess, that we're all the same. You could sit in a room and be totally upset, total different upbringing, disposition, everything than everyone else in the room. But I can say one thing and get you all to laugh at the same exact thing. It's just, to me, it's like a human pulse. Laughter is like a human pulse to let you know we all on the same wavelength.
I hear you. Amen to that. Well, I think that's a good note to close the show on.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Is there anything else you want to add before we close the show?
Be sure, I'm gonna reiterate once again, follow Amber on all of her social media. Follow me if you want to, that'll be great. Also, you can catch me at ryanevans.com. And I'll be at 3E's when we open up in September. 3E's Colorado Springs, downtown. The best in comedy in all of Colorado. Trust me, I've looked around. It's very inviting. It also has a cafe, Heckler's Cafe, open during the day for lunch, brunch, business occasions, all of these sorts. So 3E's, downtown Colorado Springs. Come to laugh.
And also check out RockyMountain.tv.
RockyMountain.tv.
We are bringing comedy to your phones soon.
Yes.
Watch out. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And if you have any questions, if you have any comments, definitely leave them below, or send us a direct message on Facebook or on Instagram. But continue to laugh, and we will check you guys in the next episode.
Laugh with you later. Be safe, y'all.